AI agents or agentic AI are quickly becoming the driving force in the implementation of the AI paradigm. So what is this about? Well, we all know these what we actually call foundational models: Claude and JetGPT, Gemini, Grok, Meta's AI, Stable Diffusion as well, the image generator, and DALL-E and Mistral, the European large language model. And we call these foundational models because they're jack of all trades. If a few years ago you would have told me about these models and I would have played with them, I would have told you that is what they call AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. I mean, I would have been very impressed, I have to tell you. Now they don't want to call it AGI, they call them foundational models, but good, because you can still fine-tune them. That's one of their characteristics. And now you take them and you create agents that can act in this world. They are more like the apps that come from the specific applications that come from the foundational models. And that's what they call Web 3.0. So when we will have millions and billions of these more or less specialized agents. And the big race right now is what will be the agent that we will all download and all use. The cooking assistant, the workout assistant, the travel agent, like literally a travel agent that helps you booking your travel and so forth. That's why they call it the Web 3.0. So while the Web 1.0 was about static web pages and we searched them, and I remember that's when I started my research in the digital paradigm. There was one web page that everybody thought was really cool. It was called pet.com. And then this other one that nobody really cared so much about was called amazon.com. And yes, I mean, you have a good web page, you can make history. And the question was there, which will be the web pages that survive? Pet.com didn't make it very far. So the foundational model are kind of like the HTML. It's kind of like what you need in order to write a good web page. But the economic value will then be created by the product. In the Web 2.0, similar. I mean, okay, so we had smartphones. That was the base, but then the idea was, okay, who creates these apps that made these billionaires? The next Facebook, the YouTube, the Waze, the Airbnb, the Uber, the Spotify, the Netflix, all these apps that we now download on our phones. And now the Web 3.0, there will be billions of agents that generate interactive content for us that we can then interact. So they have to have some autonomy as well, and some decision autonomy, because somebody wants to book some vacation for you. It also needs to be connected to the real world, to your calendar, for example, to your bank account, for example, and then they can interact. And that's what an AI agent is. It has agency to pursue an agenda through agile decision making. Now, all of these words, I chose them in my definition because they all come from the same Latin word stem, agere, to act, to conduct, to lead, to do in the world. They have agency, they can have power to act, so you give them something, some kind of information, a spreadsheet, and they act and they consult, for example, a large language model, which then pursues an agenda. So you have to define the workflow of that. We use these flow charts in order to do that, what Professor John von Neumann taught us in order to represent algorithms. It's basically a process, a routine that they go through, these agents. And it's a really structured, rule-based process that they go through, that we represent in these flowcharts. But they also are agile. They have adaptive autonomous behavior. They can choose if they want to trigger this app or that app, and what better fits them to order to fulfill their purpose. And that's how they act in the world. So you see, you don't even need to know how to write code. There are many no-code solutions there in order to create these agents, and you can connect these different applications that you already have in order to create these workflows. It's not a technological thing in that sense, and it's more like a thing like, okay, so how do you go about when you do what you do? And you teach that to an AI agent. And we have an entire course about that I invite you to check out, where we talk much more about artificial intelligence and especially AI agents, because they are the driving paradigm and will create the next generation, or are creating right now, the next generation of billionaires in that field. But why to stop here with one agent? Because the really difficult problems, they need more than one agent. For example, take the problem of a really difficult problem, predicting the stock market price of tomorrow. If that would be easy, be made, right? We cannot, like nobody can. But you could take a shot and build a team. That's what hedge funds do and investment funds do. But it's a very extremely difficult undertaking to predict the future stock price. But that's what these researchers did here in this paper. And no worries, I'm not going to go in that detail. But you need different aspects for it. For example, first of all, you need somebody who's informed about the news. So you need to build an AI agent who's a news reporter, always update on the newest trends. Then you need somebody who really research the fundamentals of the company. Like, what is this company about? What are they buying? What are they selling? What's their business model? You also have to know a little bit about economic trends, macroeconomics, for example. Are we in a recession? What's the inflation, unemployment, and so forth? That affects the stock prices and the risk. And a stock price analyst, like somebody who really, a technical analyst of the price goes up and down. And then somebody who takes it all together. And it's still very difficult. 80% of hedge funds cannot outcompete the S&P 500. Now with these 4 AI agents, they outcompeted the S&P 100 by more than 40%. Now that is really impressive, considering that most hedge funds cannot do it, or investment companies cannot do that. But once I'm here, why stop here? I can create more AI agents. It's just right mouse button, copy paste, and a little bit of prompt engineering, fine tuning, adjustment. As I said, we talk about this in the other course, how to do that. And maybe my news reporter is too liberal. Maybe I need a little bit of more conservative news report in order to capture what's really going on. Or the fundamental analyst, maybe it's a little bit too progressive. Maybe I need somebody or somebody maybe more innovative that thinks more about the future. Economics, maybe the one you have is too neoclassical. You need somebody who is a little bit from the evolutionary side. Or stock price analyst. Why not bring an Elliott wave analyst in there that just adds a different perspective, and then you cover more of what could be happening in reality. So you create diversity. And once I'm here, why stop here? Right mouse button, copy paste. And so I could have, instead of having only 2 newspaper analysts, I hire an entire team of newspaper analysts, right? So now I have 4 different ones. And now I take my fundamental summary analysis and I take even much more of these fundamental summaries. Like I have more diversity, is actually covers more reality. And then I have a team that's like, you guys put yourself in agreement, like you guys do that. I'm stepping out of the room, like you talk among each other. And if they're more diverse, probabilities are that they get somewhere more close to the truth. And if we don't understand anything anymore, then that's because we don't understand anything anymore, right? Look, if I would take these 16 experts, like the 16 most esteemed macroeconomic professors, whatever, in one room and have them talk to each other, how long do you think that will take until they find consensus? Like if I give each one of these 16, 15 minutes, it would already be a 4-hour meeting. Good luck, right? Maybe 4 days, 4 weeks. You know, these AIs, they need to take the time to talk. They just... Can you see how it's extremely difficult for us, first of all, to compete with that? And second of all, how powerful it is. If you become more like a human resource manager, right? A non-human artificial resource manager, and you have an entire team here. And this is not a coding or a computer science problem. This is what do you need to get this job done? What team do you need to hire? How do you need to create the structure and the flow of things in order to solve this problem? You create your own company. It's, as they say, an army. You have like an army that's supporting you, an army of AI agents. That's the technical term, is orchestration. And you have an entire orchestra of AI agents working with you. And this is not going to be solved anytime soon. So this is the driving force for the business world and for the AI application in the foreseeable future.